Is it really all about size? I'm talking about food, you guys. The volumetrics diet has been around for years, but it recently made the list of the US News top diets to follow in 2020. But it might backfire on you. In this video, I'm going to give you a crash course on what the volumetrics diet is, share my personal experience with it, and finally let you know how you can avoid the backfire that I experienced. As a registered dietitian who's helped thousands of women overcome diet culture traps, the volumetrics diet kind of has a special place in my heart because, like I said, I've actually done it, and to be honest with you, I kind of used to preach it. If you're curious about the volumetrics diet and you're excited to learn more, be sure to stick around because this video is going to be packed with info. And be sure to give this video a like and leave a comment with your experience with the volumetrics diet or any thoughts you have. I think Theo's going to be joining me. You gonna help? Well, you gotta sit. Honey, you gotta sit down. Now that my assistant is here, let's get into it. Okay, so what is the volumetrics diet? The volumetrics diet really focuses on low calorie dense food to help fill you up. Now, this is not a new idea. It's something that's been around for a while, and we actually touched on it in my Noom app review, so I'll link to that video there. They really use the idea of calorie density too. And other diets use it as well, like Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers. They all incorporate this idea of calorie density into the mix. So basically what that is you want to focus on foods that are going to give you a large volume for a few amount of calories. Hence volumetrics. It focuses on water and fiber in the foods to help keep you full. You're gonna get down? Okay. So the volumetrics diet really splits food into 4 categories. So there's the first category, which is this idea of free foods or unlimited foods. And this category consists of fruits, non-starchy vegetables, and broth-based soups. Category number 2 focuses on reasonable portions, as they say, of whole grains such as brown rice or whole wheat pasta, lean proteins, legumes, and low-fat dairy. Now, category 3 is all about small portions of bread, desserts, fat-free based snacks, cheeses, and some of those higher fat meats. And category 4 is all about limited portions of things like candy and desserts, sweets, fried foods, nuts, and fats. Now, no foods are off limits when it comes to the volumetrics diet per se, but they do use this idea that if you have some of those, say, category 4 foods, I feel like I'm talking about a hurricane. There is this idea that those foods still fit within a specific calorie range or goal for the day. Now, I recently shared my experience with calorie counting and my thoughts on that topic, which is a whole separate thing, in this video where I talk about how I logged my food for 900 days in a row. So I'm not going to get into that topic here. Be sure to watch that video. I go way more in depth. Volumetrics also recommends eating smaller, more frequent meals throughout the day. So they suggest having like 3 meals, some snacks throughout the day to help keep you full. And really focusing on loading up on those category 1 and 2 foods. So those non-starchy vegetables, those fruits, those lean meats, everything category 1 and 2 that we talked about. Okay, now let's get into my experience with the volumetrics diet. So I really remember kind of honing into this idea of calorie density in college. So I remember being in college and literally saying the words like, oh, I'm just a volume eater. And I would walk away from the salad bar with this giant plate of food, but it was all like iceberg lettuce, carrots, nothing that was super nutrient dense. Now, I don't think the idea of having volume in your meal is bad by any means. Our bodies like fruits and vegetables and they do have volume in them. But I think sometimes we can take it too far and only focus on those category 1 and 2 foods. We think, okay, so adding spaghetti squash versus regular spaghetti would in essence be a way to use the volumetrics diet because spaghetti squash is a less calorie dense food than pasta. A lot of times we might think, well, why don't I just have an even bigger plate of spaghetti squash and not have the pasta at all? That is where the problem comes in. Now, I love, honestly, the trend of spaghetti squash and cauliflower rice, all of these alternatives. I think it's a really fun way to eat vegetables, but it's just that. A fun way to eat vegetables. It's not a replacement for the carbs that our body needs. Carbs are our body and our brain's preferred energy source. I have a video all on why I hate the low carb diet. I'll link to it in the description below for you guys. But basically, carbs are not bad. They're actually really good for us. So when this idea of volumetrics comes in and we kind of say, okay, well, I'm going to almost feel like we want to cheat the system and say, okay, I'm going to take this and bring it to the next level, because if I do that, then I'll get results faster, right? So then we just throw all of the categories 3 and 4 foods out the window and we fixate on those category 1 and 2 foods. So say you do this, okay? So this is where my experience with the volumetrics diet backfiring kind of comes into play. So let's get into that. So let's use the example of spaghetti squash because it's definitely a real life example for me. So in college, when I was really struggling with having a lot of food rules, like I said, I would just have these plates of all of those like category 1 foods, a little bit of category 2 foods on there. And I was like, yeah, I'm a volume eater. But then after the meal, so when we do that, say it's spaghetti squash, we have just a giant plate of spaghetti squash with maybe some chicken on there, maybe we put some Parmesan cheese on top, and we're like, I don't need real pasta because I'm just gonna focus on those category 1 and 2 foods. It's all about the volume, right? Well, what is likely going to happen is that your stomach is going to be full, but you're not gonna be satisfied. I know it's kind of a crazy concept, but this happens a lot. Now, this is one of the most common things that I hear in my membership, is that you are physically full, but you still want more food. So the reason behind this is because, like I said, carbs, guys, are not bad. And when we focus just on the volume of food, we are going to fill up our tummies, but we're not going to be satisfied because our body has not gotten what it needs. So we're going to finish our giant plate of spaghetti squash and then find ourselves in the pantry, or for me, I'd be in the freezer drawer grabbing that ice cream out, and we just feel like we still needed something to hit the spot, or we still wanted to eat. That is not a lack of willpower. That is your body saying, I need more sustenance. I need more food. So in essence, that is how the volumetrics diet can backfire. Now, I will tell you how to avoid this backfire, yet eat the fruit and vegetables that your body wants and needs in order to feel good. Because like I said, I'm not going to deny that fruits and vegetables make us feel good typically, but I think that there's a balance on how to do that. It doesn't have to be black and white. Either I'm eating all of the fruits and vegetables or I'm eating none of the fruits and vegetables. So like I said, I love the veggie train that we're all on with trying to find fun new ways to incorporate them. But I think it's really important to note that, like I said, they're just that. They're veggies and we can use them because it's fun. Take advantage of all of the new things that we have on the market. Use the cauliflower rice, but know that you can't likely be satisfied on just a plate of cauliflower rice. So what I like to do is I use those things as a side. I don't use them as a main piece of the meal. I never just eat a plate of cauliflower rice without making some regular rice to put in it. Because like I said, it's more of a side dish. It's not like the main thing. But there's nothing wrong with adding some cauliflower rice to your stir fry or adding some zoodles or spaghetti squash to your pasta dish. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But one really, really important thing to note, and I say this a lot, is to say if you did not have that veggie part to your meal, would you feel anxiety? If that answer is yes, it's likely not from a place of my body likes this is what my body wants. It's likely a place from a food rule. And I think that's really important to note. So what you can do in order to not have the volumetrics diet backfire on you like it did me is to be sure that you are not cutting out any of those foods and really, really listening to your body. I have a full video on how to listen to your body. I'll link there, but just really know that no foods are bad. And if your body is giving you a really strong pull to eat something, it could be because you're missing out on something else in the first place. And do not get frustrated if you have a giant plate of something that's very low calorie density and you're hungry super soon after. That's not a lack of willpower. That is your body telling you something. Don't overdo it. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe to the channel down there. It really does help to support me making more videos for you guys. And be sure to hit that little bell to be notified every time a new video is uploaded every Sunday. I'll leave a couple more diet reviews after this for you to check out because I know you guys love those. They're super interesting. And I will see you guys next Sunday. you.